Hi, my name is Alice with Dave Tech Tutorials, and today I'm going to teach you how to set the default value on your custom fields. If you haven't already, please make sure you consider subscribing, drop a like if you get value out of this video, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. But before we jump into today's video, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. I now have merch, and if you like this shirt, Scrum Life is a Happy Life, check out the description below where you can find some of my other t-shirts that I have for sale. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. And now let's jump into the video. You're going to want to be a Jira admin. If you're not currently a Jira admin, this is going to be a little hard to do. This is something only your site level administrators or Jira administrators can do. So you are going to need a little bit more power to do this. But this is kind of a cool feature. This is kind of a cool thing to do. It's a gift. It's got its pros and cons. It's a gift and a curse. Sometimes it's beneficial, other times it's not. I just wanted to put the video out there so that you understand how to do it. And then you can choose or opt in to do it if you want to. I am personally not a big fan of doing this because I think it creates lazy behaviors. But I get this question asked a lot. And the biggest question I get asked is can you set like a default value, like a template inside of a field? But more specifically, most people ask me how to do this in the description field. And before we get too far in the video, let me break your heart a little bit. You can't change the description field. So I'm not going to be able to do this for the description field. But what I find often is the case, folks are trying to put in things like acceptance criteria, definition of done. They're trying to put like reproducing steps for bugs. They're trying to put these kind of information, like a template, like a rubric, if you will, inside of the description field. But honestly, it can just be its own field. You can break it up into its own custom field, which I basically mean you can create an acceptance criteria custom field. And then in there, you can go and put your template, your rubric, your guide, whatever you want to put. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. This is not going to teach you how to make a custom field, but I am going to show you how, if you already have a custom field, how to add like a template in there or some default values. You're going to want to go to the gear. You're going to want to go to issues. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to go to custom fields. Again, this only works for custom fields. You're not going to be able to do this with the description field, which is a default out-of-the-box Jira field. So once you're here, find your field that you're interested in. And again, if your field doesn't exist, I recommend you go check out my video on how to create custom fields because that's going to help you do it. Essentially, you want a field that you can basically set a value for. It's going to work for a lot of fields. Not every custom field has this option, but this is going to work for the most common ones like a text box, a text field, and a single select, or even the multi-selects, right? But it's going to allow you to basically have a pre-canned answer coming into it because by default, these things are blank. So this is all we're going to do today. So once you have identified your field, in my case, I'm going to do this acceptance criteria field here. You're going to come over to the right to this ellipses. You're going to click on context and default value. Once you click on those, you'll be able to see, wow, this Atlassian, if you're watching this, dark mode is still a little buggy. This is a little too dark for my preference. I just enabled dark mode in my Jira. And if you haven't done it and you want to try and experiment with dark mode, I also have a video where I teach you how to enable dark mode in Jira. So make sure you look that one up as well. But anyways, you can see I can barely see this issue types here. But today we're going to be focusing on this edit default value. So go ahead and click on that. And when you click on that, then you can put whatever you want. So teams will have like some sort of a rubric for acceptance criteria. Maybe they'll include like you need to include 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different acceptance criteria for whatever you want. This can be anything you want. I'm not very creative, so I'm just going to leave it like this. And so you just click on that set default. Now, let's have a quick little timeout on why this is a good idea and why this is a bad idea. This is a good idea because it helps guide your team. It helps your team have the information that they should be filling out, or at least some inspiration for how they should be filling out this field. Because sometimes teams just don't put in the right data, so Scrum Masters want to help influence just the structure of the data that's being captured in every ticket. Or that's the good reason. But the bad reason is if your team isn't careful, if they just like mindlessly click through the screens, they're going to inadvertently just push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever your default value is forward. And what that means is that ticket's going to be created with whatever template you left. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden you start seeing a bunch of tickets that basically have your template in it. And so you want to be careful, right? This is a behavior problem. You want to guide your team to make sure that they're actually going in there and changing the data. They don't you Your rubric, your template shouldn't be the data that gets pushed through or that actually gets added to the ticket. You want them to change this data, but have that default data as a as a guide, as an influence for what they should actually put in. Maybe their instructions of like capture the title here, capture this here, capture whatever else over here. And again, it should hopefully trigger in the mind of whoever's creating that ticket to actually change the data. But that is probably the biggest con, is that if they're not careful, they're just going to hit create and it's going to go through, because guess what? The field's no longer empty. So making things like making the field required all of a sudden just don't work anymore, because the field has data in it. It has a value in it. It's just not probably the value you want. So anyway, so once you have done this, once you've done it, that's it. There's nothing else to it. All you got to do is basically go test it. So you can go to create from here, and you just need to go to a field or an issue that actually has your field. And as you can see here, here's my acceptance criteria, and it'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, if I just put a title here and go, this is my new story 1, and I click create, it's just going to create it with that value in it. I can click on view issue, and you're going to see that acceptance criteria just got brought in exactly the way I set it up here. So again, you want to be very careful and teach your teams, guide them and help them and have them understand that you don't just want to accept whatever's there. That should just be like a template, a guide, a rubric. You want them to actually go in and set real meaningful information in there. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, because let's face it, if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, come on, help the channel out. It really does help out. And if you even want to help out the channel even more, there's a couple more things you can do. You can drop a like, as that helps out the algorithm. You can just drop a comment down below, get some conversations going, ask a question, say hello, whatever you want to do. That also does help out the algorithm so that more people get to enjoy these videos. And if you like the t-shirts, I have quite a few t-shirts. I have about 5 designs right now. Check out the link in the description below. Get your own t-shirt, show it off around the office. And I think they're pretty clever. They're Jira related. So if you want to nerd out a little bit, make sure you check out the description, get a t-shirt, support the channel, and show off to your friends. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now.